focused and keep you updated on all that's happening around. But if you watched yesterday's events at the Asian Games, chances are you might have witnessed some dream performances. India's Parul Chaudhary set the tracks on fire in what many would consider the best race in Indian athletic history. Parul, in fact, had just finished a grueling race the previous day, the 3,000-meter steeplechase event, which she won silver in, finishing behind the unstoppable Winfred Yavi. And the very next day, she had to contest in another tedious event, the 5,000 meters. Now, imagine the kind of rigor and training one must go through to be prepared to do back-to-back of such demanding events. Now, she was in around 4th to 6th position for a considerable part of the 10-lap race before breaking ranks to come in 3rd. She played the long game in keeping up with the leader of the pack, Japan's Ririka Hironaka, and holding on to that 3rd place with a few laps to go. She then gave one burst to come into the 2nd position with 1 lap left to go. I still remember the bell ringing to signal the final lap. She continued to be in the 2nd place with the Japanese seemingly way ahead to even overtake. She sneaks a glance to her right, and in the blink of an eye, Parul gets a 2nd burst out of nowhere to overtake her on the left, thus blindsiding her, claiming a brilliant gold in 15 minutes, 14.75 seconds. The difference between her and Ririka, a whole second, from being a fair distance to go with 20 meters still left in the race. After that, after pulling off that incredible race, in fact, here's what she said, and I quote, "In the last 50 meters, I was thinking that my government would give me a nice job. That of Deputy Superintendent of Police. It means it's good." Now, Parul, who works in the railways, thought of her dream job. That's what she was thinking when the most unassuming shero in Indian athletics currently was rewriting history. She even, in an interview, seems to have said that her parents, seeing her glorious feats, have now finally stopped coaxing her to get married. Now, with this win, Parul became the first athlete in Asian Games history to win 2 medals in the women's steeplechase as well as 5,000 meters. Next up, we look at gold in javelin. Yes, not Neeraj Chopra we're talking about, but India's won a gold in the women's event for the first time. Annu Rani wasn't even a favourite given her average throws throughout the season, where she couldn't even cross 60 meters. Being compared to her male counterpart, Neeraj Chopra, is definitely a daunting feeling. But if you look at how the race finished, she managed to throw her personal best to win gold in the javelin throw event. 62.92, coming in right at first, and behind her, of course, the Sri Lankan with 61.57 meters and Chinese finishing with 61.9. That's like 2.9. That's a small difference. And here's what she said after the win.
I feel really good. This was the last competition this year. I'm really motivated for the Olympics next year. I could have thrown much better, but this year has been really hectic for me.
Here's hoping that she shines at the Olympics too. For Annu, the daughter of a farmer who was told that she was probably wasting government funding, her gold comes at the perfect time to silence all her critics. And while we continue, here comes one more star. Pumped with energy and vigor, India's Tejaswin Shankar, who won silver in the decathlon event. Talk about shaking jitters off your shoulders. Despite being in one of the most difficult athletics events, a 10-event sport that pans over the span of 2 days, where Tejaswin Shankar broke a 12-year national record and clinched a silver at the Asian Games. The 24-year-old finished with 7,666 points to break the previous record set by Bhartinder Singh, who had set a national record of 7,658 points set way back in 2011. Listen to what he said after winning the silver.
My only goal was to win the best medal. That's what I did. I did what I could, and I'm happy with my score. I think the thing with decathlon is no matter how you perform, you are content with it. It's a 10-event sport, so I did my best.
Right, here was a wrap of some of the top performers as far as India is concerned. We also have got you covered where it comes to certain stunning medal finishes, podium finishes, as far as athletes outside the country are concerned. Why don't you take a look?
Here are some of the international athletes who wowed fans. In weightlifting, Indonesia's Remat Erwin Abdullah set a new world record. Abdullah clinched a gold in the men's 73 kg category. He lifted 201 kgs in the men's clean and jerk, Abdullah broke his own record of 200 kgs that he had set in the World Championships in December. The Indonesian executed all 3 lifts in each category effortlessly. He posted an aggregate of 359 kgs with 158 kgs in the snatch and 201 kgs in clean and jerk. Abdullah's victory was the first win for Indonesia at the Asian Games. Meanwhile, Raman Samba gave Qatar one more gold in athletics. He was crowned champion of the men's 400-meter hurdles at Hongju. Rahman Samba clinched the gold with a time of 48.04 seconds. This was also his best run this season. He managed to retain the gold he had won during the Jakarta meet. The 28-year-old battled an injury in May 2022 and had to undergo surgery. This was Samba's first major competition this year. China's Lin Yu won gold in the women's 100-meter hurdles final. In the race, she clocked a time of 12.74 seconds and also qualified for the Olympics. But what instead made headlines was something else. A photograph of Lin Yu and her compatriot Wu Yani surfaced on social media. They were seen hugging each other and the picture displayed both their lane numbers. Lin's lane number 6 and Wu's lane number 4 were visible in the picture. The picture was immediately blocked by Chinese censors. 6-4 is a reference to the Tiananmen Square massacre that took place in 1989. The race numbers were perceived as a reference to that incident. In climbing, Iran's Reza Alipur Shenazan mounted new heights. He was an underdog in this year's Asian Games but upset many of the fan favourites. The 29-year-old competed beside world record holder Frederic Leonardo and World Championships runner-up Long Jinbao of China, among others. But Shenazan defended his title in the men's speed climbing event and snatched the gold. He defeated China's Long Jinbao with a time of 5.302 seconds for the gold.
It's the dream of every cricketer. The ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny. But for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams. Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.